Welcome to the Zachrilege cast. Chris, how is your No Nut November going?
I've already failed.
You already failed. Oh, Paul Joseph Watson will be so mad.
Uh, have I failed? I don't know. I'll do it I got low T, man. Okay, I have a disability. So.
There's somebody, it was like Paul Joseph Watson was like, the mainstream media has ruined No Nut November. I was like, what does that even mean? I am so confused. Because there
Insert
was one Republican senator, Josh Hawley, who said that the Democrats were like, porn and we've treated women badly and we're all like oversexed on the Democratic side. And then Madison Cawthorn, Mr. Sex pest at worst, criminal at best, was like the Democrats have ruined sex, or they've ended sex. It's like I don't know what side there is. Where's the happy medium? I'm sure Andrew Yang can help us meet in the middle.
Oh yeah. What's his name? His party, Forward Party or something.
Ford, yeah, I had a guy like send me a couple of like, here's some videos. I'm like, just at this point, after all we've been through in the past, whatever, however many years, just deifying anybody, especially just a entrepreneur who I don't think Andrew Yang was a particularly good entrepreneur, and he wasn't that exciting of a candidate, and he just stole the whole idea of, what was it, the monthly income thing, and then his idea of monthly income was like to get rid of other stuff that people have so they would actually make less money. I'm like, does this guy have ideas? Because I feel like nothing. I feel like he just came up with this party because he's like selling a book. I think that's it.
Yeah, they get popular and they get addicted to it. So they try to
I mean,
find
he
any
ran
ways.
for mayor, and I thought, oh, he's going to win this, and then he came in like fourth. But I thought it was hilarious that the National Review is trying to do a victory lap for the Republicans, and they were like, even the person who won in New York City, isn't going to defund the police. I'm like, well, first of all, no one is defunding the police. That's not passing anywhere. And second of all, Democrat was going to win in New York City.
Yeah,
I mean, they already said it was like in New Jersey and in Virginia when they have the governor race after the presidency, it always goes the other way.
Yeah.
So it was actually a surprise that the New Jersey went Democrat, even though people were pissed about it. I don't know. It's, we're not talking about freaking politics. We might talk about politics in a bit. What I wanted to do, we were not celebrating any other November other than International Stout Day, which is our holiday. It is the God. If we quit the whole atheist scene and decide to just start following gods, it's going to be some kind of stout god. Because stouts are, the perfect creation. I believe it was the initial imperial stout that the British sent to Catherine the Great, and then they went bad on the way there. So they were like, you know what we need to do? Add more alcohol. So the imperial stout was invented, and it's weird that I don't think a Russian imperial stout is actually Russian. It's just it was sent to Russia. It doesn't really matter. It's just a name, really. And that was the thing. It was like the first name. It was like porter was invented, I think, in the 18th century. I did a little bit of reading, and stout is just a more alcohol version, basically. Stout because it's stout, right?
Well, they said in the beginning they used black malts to make it darker. No.
Yeah, some kind of malt that they had to extract from regular malt. Then a guy figured out, a genius in the 1700s was like, here, I'll invent this new strain of malt. And, because the malty beers, well, I don't know, because you're one of your favorites is a little bit on the bitter side. But we were just going to kind of talk about like, and this isn't necessarily like our favorite 5 stouts. It's just like 5 maybe stouts that, explain us or explain our journey as boozy people. So I'm going to give Chris the first choice because I don't think we have any overlap. I don't want that to be a thing where we both pick the same one. But go ahead.
I think you can probably guess what the first one is. Yeah. Old Raspy.
There you go.
Old Rasputin. Arguably the first stout I had back in the olden days. And actually, maybe one of the first high grabs I'd had that I'd bought. Um, Now, of course, over the course of however many years it's been, I kind of start realizing it's not as good because it's really bitter. And I mean, since I've been drinking more milk stouts because that's all you can fucking get lately is shit with variants, sweet variants and shit in there, which isn't always bad. But I mean, it's just like I'm just saying, base stouts are harder to find. But as far as a base stout, that was my first and it's my first love, and it always right here, man. Bitter, bitter, and I still need the T-shirt. I need the T-shirt, and I should have went as Rasputin for Halloween. I could have pulled it off too. Just dye my beard.
I think I bought a 4-pack of like old Rasputin around the time that like the beginning of COVID, and I think I just drank the last one like a month ago because it just you look at I looked it up on Untapped, and the IBUs, which is like the bitterness, it's like 75. It's like really high. It's higher than most IPAs, and I was like, yeah, when I drink this, that's what I get. So 1995 is when it was first brewed. I mean, I feel like there weren't that many mass marketed, even small marketed stouts. But what is interesting about stouts in general is that, like you said, you were talking about like milk stout. There really aren't that many just base any kind of beers anymore. I mean, so you want to base like Russian stout, it's hard to find. So if you find a good one, like there's the Oakland, the Recluse, which is at 3 Taverns.
That was on my top.
Got you.
That was on my top.
That's not one of mine. Oops. Anyway, I won't say any more names then.
Well, no. It was on my Untapped list because I had to go on my Untapped list.
It's good.
Sort it by rating, and Theosophan was right up there. So.
Yeah, because it used to be in Bombers, and now they do 4-packs, and they came out a few months ago, and I don't think I see it in stores anymore, but it didn't do very well. But my first pick will be clearly, I mean, come on, the Dragon's Milk. What's best about this is I have Dragon's Milk, and then tonight one of the beers I'm drinking is Dragon's Milk Reserve Peanut Butter and Chocolate. And I also have the Dragon's Milk Reserve, the second one of the year, the vanilla. And then the one that just came out this week, salted caramel. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes me want to go down that place just for that.
But, oh yeah. So before I get to my beer, of course, I'm also having Stranger Danger. So Monday night is one of the breweries that now is in Nashville. So the funny thing is I go to Nashville, and it's like, let's go to a brewery that is in Atlanta too, but they just came out with this peanut butter cup. So it's a milk stout, so it's a little more creamy. I actually like this better than the Dragon Smoke version. But it is like $14-15 for a 500 milliliter bottle. So, it needs to be good, right? But the story of Dragon's Milk. So I used to do a show with my friend Sharona, who we talked about the Tennessee Titans, and then we stopped talking about them. And we had one person who would watch it, and she used to drink this, and I got one, and I was like, this is strong. It's like 11%, and it's bourbon barrel aged. This is just, too much. And here I am now, years later, and I'm like, yeah, it's all right. It's not too strong. But they used to do these like reserves in like the Bombers. And the last time they did salted caramel, they did the salted caramel, but you also got the glasses. And so I have the glass, and then I got the other glass, and I brought it to Nashville. I was going to give it to Sharona, and she never showed up. So it's in my parents' house. So I'll just keep it there.
Me.
But you know what?
I deserve it.
I'm actually using... These are like 16-ounce wine glasses. I don't like the 12-ounce glasses because you feel it overflows. It's too much. I need a 14-ounce or 16-ounce glass. So I just go with the generics.
I got the old... remember, I got the collection from that dude at Southern Grist who gave me all these fucking glasses. That was the sweetest pickup I've ever made, man.
I think there must be a lot of people who just... I used to go to like restaurants and they would have pint glass night. And if you ordered a certain beer, they'd give you a pint glass. And I have all these pint glasses. I just never drink out of them because they're not really, the stouts are supposed to be like these goblet style glasses because we're ridiculous. But yeah, Dragon's Milk's got, I think it's been through like 2 redesigns of the bottle since I've been drinking it. So it's been that long.
Old raspberry has stayed the same though.
But now they do the reserve. They've had some weird, like they had a vanilla like chai tea one, and they had a Scotch barrel marshmallow thing, which actually was not bad. But some of them haven't been good. There's a place in town, they sell the individual bottles of like the last couple, and I'm just going to have to go there and sell them out because my place I thought would have them forever, and apparently they got rid of them or somebody just bought them out. So I was like, crap, they've moved on to the next one. But it's nice. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's a little bitter, but pretty smooth. And there's only one bourbon barrel like stout that I think you can get year round. That's Dragon's Milk, and there's only really one bourbon barrel Scottish ale, which is the Backwoods Bastard, and that's available year round now. And it's weird that any other barrel aged stout you find is just like part of the year, or you get that Kentucky bourbon ale, which I used to get, and it's like it's not that good because it's ale. It's not.
I drink it. Me and my friend go drink. Well, it's the only thing down here at the local place we go to when we go hang out. It's Kentucky. That's the only beer that I can fucking. It is. That's the only thing there. It's either that or fucking some Yazoo bullshit. It takes
the world is against us dark beer because people talk about like dark beers and usually it's in the winter, it's in the fall. It's like I'll drink this on July 4th. It doesn't matter to me. No. I drank this stuff at the beach. It's lovely. First thing in the morning. Come on, you've seen the videos. You know what happens.
Oh yeah.
I was like this year. I'm like, dang! I got up every morning at the beach. Like, oh yeah, I got to do a video of a friend, my friend Don. Just like, how come I haven't seen a video yet? I'm like, dude, calm down.
He needs a life, obviously.
There are expectations.
Apparently.
Okay, so what's your second pick?
Founders Breakfast Stout. I have had this innumerable times. I can't even look at the check-in list. I don't know. It has the virtue of being a lot of places, I think, is the biggest thing. Publix usually has it. Almost always has it. Kroger doesn't, but Publix usually has it, and it's just pretty popular. Founders generally you can find just about anywhere, but it's really boozy. It has the boozy taste, and honestly, it's a base stout. It's one of the few examples of pretty much a base oatmeal. Thus the breakfast.
So I didn't know if they added coffee because I haven't had that in a while, but
it doesn't.
It's one of those. It's just like there are all these beers that just sit in stores. Like the term they used was shelf turd, which is a terrible name for a beer.
I don't like
but it's like it's anything you see in the store that has like a lot of dust on it.
Yeah.
Like if you see those old Rasputin like barrel aged bottles, they're just sitting there forever.
I had an opportunity once and I didn't take it. I was like, that's too much money. That was stupid, Zach. I should have let you keep one so I wouldn't drink it. That's what I should have done.
Well, I haven't thought if I just keep... Actually, I think that weird birthday cake stout. I think I left that at my parents' last time. So if you want that, that was pretty not good.
Oh yeah, which one was that?
I drank that like on the way to the Titans game, and I was like, man, I need to pick something that I actually like to drink onto a Titans game because the point always was like, this beer is good, but that was not good. It has weird flavors. Like I had the mistake of buying a pumpkin pie porter because I'm like, I'm
Oh,
gonna give it a shot, and it was a local beer, but it had this weird like metallic taste to it, and I'm like, crap, I bought a 4-pack. So,
see, that's why you try to find a place to sell singles.
but as things are very seasonal, like I was at the grocery store on the first, and they are already switching over to Christmas. And when I went to the bottle shop yesterday, like all the Marzens and Oktoberfest were like, they were gone. I was like, man, that's quick. Beers in July, like I'm surprised that you had to like look to find them, but seasonal
They
beers.
still got them.
Oh boy.
You're second.
So I picked one that I've only had, I think, twice. I had a coworker that I weirdly met. I worked on the same floor as this guy, but he found me through Twitter because I posted the Twitter that I stood in line for the what was it, the Nintendo Classic. Remember that thing came out? It's like it looks like the old Nintendo game and has like 30 games on it. And I actually got in line at like 3 in the morning, and I was 10 people away. And then he reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, I have an extra one of these." And then he turned out to also be a beer guy, so it was a friendship made in heaven. And he would go to Florida because he had family there, and he would pick up Funky Buddha's Morning Wood. So this is a barrel-aged maple bacon coffee. I think it's porter.
Ooh, porter?
And they have I think the base beer they started selling in Atlanta, but they've never sold the barrel-aged version. Unfortunately, the brewery was one of the breweries that sold out to big companies and were treating their employees like shit. So that kind of sucked. And it was a bomber that I think I paid $30 for. So, pretty much as high as I've ever paid. And it was just so good. And I wonder if I drink it now, because there are some beers that are like, man, 10 years ago, I loved this. I'm like, so. But it was just one of those. And of course, it seems like just about everything I picked on here is a barrel-aged beer. Like, some of what you picked. But yeah, it was one of those. There was this thing, they used to call the Whale, which was like a beer that came out and everybody got crazy about. And occasionally they would be super expensive. Like there's some brewery in Iowa, and they have a beer they sell every year, and it's a bourbon barrel stout, and people can sell it. Like I had a friend who sold it, and then he had money to buy 2 tickets to fly to Hawaii. Like it was so much money. It's I don't think a beer can be that good. And the thing is now, which is good in our beer industry, and I wonder if it's going to be bad long term, is there's just so much stuff on the shelves. Like you just can find anything except a base stout, right?
But I'm the weird one.
It's there. I mean, if you want to find 400 IPA, you got your choice.
Oh yeah, Northeast.
Well, even IPAs are getting juicy or fruity, or the most ridiculous beer style I've ever heard of, milkshake IPA. I'm like, why would you want to drink a beer that tastes like sweet and bitter at the same time? I don't get it. But the people that like it, they like it.
Yeah, I know they do.
Okay, so third for you. What do you got?
We're gonna go with Navel Gazer, I think. That's a local, again, a base stout.
I don't think I've had that one. Or is that's not the barrel? Okay.
We had this conversation.
It's probably true.
I've been to New Heights exactly once, and that was just to get Black and Beautiful. I've never actually had anything there. But Navel Gazer and the variant Double Navel Gazer, which is just more alcohol. And there's one that was a coffee one that was okay. But yeah, it's like their flagship stout, and it's a base stout, except for the one I just said. It's a solid It's probably the best Nashville stout well, no, that's not true. Well, see, Monday night doesn't count because they're interlopers. So
yeah.
I'm still going with Navel Gazer as a base stout here in Nashville. I'm gonna give it a shout out, and it's gonna give them a lot of business because a lot of people listen to me. I'm the
I know.
influencer.
The chat room, just I'm trying to keep them under control. It's tough. I think our chat rooms are cats, so it's great. So I'm gonna go with another beer that I may never have again because I don't know if it's even. No, it's not made anymore. It's a Imperial Stout X Tart Cherry. So this is from Boulevard.
Oh, they're good.
So there's a bottle shop which is just outside of Chattanooga. It's on the Georgia side.
We went
And
there.
they used to have all of these Boulevard bombers. They had the barrel-aged quad, which they actually now make as a 4-pack. They had some of the beers they make as 4-packs, and at the time they just made them bombers. But the Imperial Stout, the Tart Cherry was my favorite of them all because they just had a thing for cherry at the time, and it was a stout. And I remember getting probably the last one in America because that store had like a few of them left, and I bought 2 of them, I don't know, like a year or 2 ago when I came up to Nashville, and I brought one home and I drank it, and I was like, yeah, this is probably it because these were made in 2015 and I don't think Boulevard makes them anymore. So it was just a very good. And the stout part now is a little bit bitter for my taste, but the beer itself is pretty good. They have a coconut version. I think they still have 1 or 2 bottles left. I'll probably get them the next time I come up because it's
Of course you will. Yes, you get
it's
the
the last one of its kind, man. And I used to go, like, people were big into the aging of beers, and I used to age them, and then I didn't really notice the difference. Like, I had a 1-year-old Dragon's Milk versus a fresh Dragon's Milk, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty much the same. And if you have, I just know I had a friend who he shared a Google Doc that people had that had all their like barrel aged like beers that they were aging for years. And I think over time he just drank them. He's like, yeah, if they have any flavors or variants, they usually disappear over time. I actually have an Allagash double that I bought in like 2014. I still need to drink it with a friend of mine because they don't even make that anymore. I was like, let me buy a current version and a 5-year-old version. I'm like, they don't make it anymore. So that's the thing. They have a version of a double, but it has like orange peel and some other weird flavor in it. Like you can't, like I said, they can't have just a regular beer anymore. Plus, I don't like it as much as you do. So, yep. Next.
Okay. So I'm going to pull a bit of an audible here because I didn't initially have this one, but I was thinking about it, and there's some memories involved with it. 1050. Another base stout. Strong as fuck. Dark as fuck. The ultimate stout. It is like the penultimate.
When I went, no, that's right. I had the narwhal when I came to, because in Nashville they have the barrel aged narwhal, which used to be in bombers. Now they sell in cans, but they don't sell it here. And barrel aged 1050, not here. I don't know. Maybe it's too boozy.
They have it here.
I just remember, and I know this brings up bad and good memories, like the NanoCon.
Oh yeah,
where we drank all that beer. That one was good. And I brought the barrel-aged 1050 because it came in that big stovepipe can. Like, that was... now that's a regular thing, but at the time, it was really weird. And everybody else but me was like, that's terrible. And I'm like, this is good.
And I drank some shit. I drank the shit out of that 1050, I'm going to tell you right now. I didn't get straight out of the bathtub.
One of those ones people talked about. And I think there was like a rum barrel. There were all these like variants that were hard to find. But I don't know. They must not distribute that to Georgia because I never see it, but I do see it when I'm in Nashville.
Yeah, it's
as kind of like a throwback because it's probably just sitting on shelves. You just have to know where to look.
Well, there's a barrel aged version that came out recently that they have at Main Street, which I had. So I only, and of course, there is that attached the Reason Con, the good Reason Con. Of course, apparently I did some shit there too. I wasn't.
Was there a good one?
No, it was the one with the bathtub of beer.
NanoCon, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not NanoCon.
No, the 2 ones I went to were good. Yeah.
No, the one the second one I went to was good. And I drank a bunch of local beer. The recent con we went to where you were carting the cooler around was the
Yeah,
one that I had 1050.
that was
And
something
that was
else.
good. That
That
was
a
really good.
cooler of beer, and that was one of the beers you're gonna mention probably later. I remember having like one bottle of it, and now it's everywhere all the time. But it used to be a seasonal beer that ran out, and now it's year round. So yeah, okay. Well, my next one is a newer one. It's like a style of beer that there used to only be one version of it, and now there's of course 1,000 versions of it. And it's the Three Taverns Day of the Departed. So this is like kind of like Mexican cake. So Westbrook in South Carolina came up with this beer called Mexican Cake, which
Yes.
was a stout, but it was like a Mexican dessert because it had
Peppers.
cinnamon, it had
Peppers, baby.
peppers in it. It was very, and it was hard to find. It was another one of those whales that now I went to the liquor store last week and it's like it just sits there because there's just so many of them. But anyway, this is of course,
Me? That's awesome.
yeah.
They have it at
It's
Main Street all the fucking time. It's good. That's one of my top ones, in fact, when I looked it on Tapped.
but this was actually I think it was a South American pepper, like it wasn't Mexican, but it was just it had the cinnamon and it wasn't too cinnamony because I don't really like cinnamon in beer, but this version was quite tasty. It was a kind of dessert beer that had a little bit of that pepper. I'm kind of intrigued. There was a local brewery recently that did like a ghost pepper stout. I'm like, I wonder if Aaron Raw would like it because I know I wouldn't. I just don't.
That dude.
Yeah. I'm like,
Anyway.
oh, when we go to Nashville, maybe I should get like the hotter hot chicken. I'm like, you know what? The regular hot chicken is just, that's fine. I don't need
Oh,
it.
no, me, I know.
I don't need to put myself on the bench for a weekend.
Sir.
What?
Sir, I told you went to the white. Because I had, which one did I get? I got the medium like I do for Prince's usually, and I was just scarfing it down, and I didn't really, maybe I'm so accustomed to the real thing.
Could be.
Sorry. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Okay. Well, what's next for you? Are you still drinking that cinnamon beer or what?
Oh, I guess I should mention that, shouldn't I, while we're here.
I didn't know if you'd switched.
No, it's a Big Pepe cinnamon stout. It's from Yazoo, and it's not that good. It's barrel aged, which is enough to mask the thinness. Because I've had the original one, and it's just thin, and it's not very good. This is barrel aged and thin and better only because it's boozier. But anyway, I'm not going to get I'm not going to get into that too much. However, what did I write down here? Benevolent Overlord. Now, this is one from Monday night that I had. It's been a while since I had it, but I saw it and went pop up in my my Untapped. I'm like, that was like, good shit.
Do they make that anymore? Because that doesn't sound familiar.
They have it at Main Street, or they did have it. But it was I like now. I'm liking a good mouth, thick, silky mouthfeel. And since I can't find a base stout, if I'm going to get some adjuncts in my shit, I want it to be well blended and not be too strong. And it has hazelnut in it, which I know is a bonus for you.
Oh my god.
But I do, and as a side, we're going to do kind of almost a 2-in-1, but there's a hazelnut, but I'll just make it real quick. The Untitled Arts one, hazelnut, that came out and that you wanted to get so bad. So bad. But the barrel-aged one is even better. I don't usually like barrel-aged, but this really made the hazelnut really pop. I was like, Zach would love this. Oh my god, he would love it.
I don't know. It was weird. I used to like. There was a beer. What was that Seattle brewery? It was called Hazelnut Brown Nectar, and it used to be in bombers, and now I think like everything else, it's in 4-packs. But every time I have something with hazelnut, that was one of the flavors I gave you of the Dragon's Milk Reserve. It was like a rum, hazelnut, and it had like 2 other flavors in
That
it.
was weird. Yeah.
And it was like, I drank it, and I remember drinking it like, why is this not, this should be better, and it just was not good.
Some combinations just.
But that just blew my mind because it was like, you have trouble finding base beers, and I'm like, why are you going to a store now and you can find like 5 different hazelnut stouts? I mean, it's a great time to be alive if you like that sort of thing. And I was in this liquor store in freaking Tybee Island, and they had a 4-pack of the hazelnut stout.
What?
Which of course I passed on. I think it's still like I saw it when I was in the store yesterday. It's just around. They have so many, like the Untitled Art. I have trouble committing to their beers. Like, I think I usually like them, but they're just really expensive.
Yes.
Like, they had a s'mores one, they had like some kind of fudge dessert one, and I just was not. I need to go to more places like you go to that will sell the individual, because most places I go to, they don't sell singles, and that just for new beers.
Oh, that. Sorry.
Which one is that?
Fucking the fudge sickle. I remember the first one I had. One of the first Untitled Arts I had was a fudge sickle, and that motherfucker tasted just like a fudge sickle, in a good way.
Yeah, Untitled Art. I think they're out of Wisconsin, but they're everywhere, and they make. Yeah, if you want to freak out, like I talked to my dad who drank beer until probably like the last 10 years, and now all they drink is wine. But he just drank all the base, iron. He probably drank a lot of Iron City in the 70s, and then whatever the hell beer they had in Nashville in the 80s, because I don't even know. Like Coors was a like crazy beer that you had to like travel around the country to get in the 80s. It was funny. Oh, what the glorious days. I think I'm to my last beer. This is, of course, another barrel-aged. And the last 2 times I've been in Nashville, I've not found this beer, which has been annoying. The barrel-aged Neapolitan Milk Stout. Sagatuck.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but there's the Neapolitan Stout has really stood out. There's actually Orpheus in Atlanta made one, and the strawberry they had just didn't taste like the artificial strawberry. It was good, but they stopped making it, or I haven't seen it in a long time. But the regular like Neapolitan milk stout, like I got a 6-pack like a year ago, and I still have like 3 of them. It's kind of like The barrel age was really good, and for some reason the last time I was there, they had that double barrel, and it was just kind of weird because it was like rum and bourbon, and that just is too much. Anytime they mix barrels, that usually is a bad thing. Yeah. So, but that was one that I've gotten a couple times in Nashville, and then for some reason the last 2 times I've been there, they don't have it. They have a lot of Sagatuck beers, they just don't have that one.
Again, I think I saw that in Main Street.
They probably
that
around.
Dude. I know I keep fucking. That dude needs Nashville scenes best in Nashville. They have the best in Nashville, and I'm telling you, this brother works overtime, and he's got a nice beard. So
I bet.
Yeah.
Wow. So we done 5 each.
Has it been 5? No, I think I had one more. Did I have one more? Well, let's do it anyway. If we got time. Right?
Yeah, we do.
I did want to mention a correction. Eyes of the Beholden is for Morpheus Brewing, not Monday Night. So
yeah, I haven't seen that one before. I think there's one you didn't mention that should come up because it's been retired and it's
that's the dearly departed one. We both Lagunitas used to be like the official stout of the show for a good while.
I mean, that was one I used to come up to Nashville and get because
so cheap.
It was in Bombers, but it was like maybe $4.
$5, man. Shit, you can't beat that.
And it was just
a whole
stout.
Case.
And it was
a whole case.
It was a little bitter, but it was one that I always wanted to get when I came up to Nashville. And then apparently they stopped making it,
they just stopped making it. And I'm like, fuck you. Because I bought a whole case.
It's got to be like
That was
You
my
know, the
shit.
last scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they see where they hide all the stuff that the government has found. Like, there's
Oh
got to be a
yeah,
stash somewhere
I'm
where
gonna go
there's
find
like,
it.
I always think like every version of Dragon's Milk Reserve that's ever come out. Like, there's still some out there. Like, almost every brewery keeps a little bit of every beer they've made. So it's like it's out there somewhere. You just have to find it.
No, I need
And
to
when you
find who
find it,
originally brewed it and held a gun to his head
yeah, whatever the recipe is.
and make him make me like kegs upon kegs enough to last for the rest of my life. Which God only knows how long that's going to be. But
Yeah, I think that was the line. I had a friend who brewed beer. He's like, "Oh, just do it. It'd be really cheap." And I'm like, "That'd be the end for me.
no, no,
I don't need that much beer."
I get too frustrated. I'd
I
get
feel like it would
pissed.
take a lot of work. And there's just so many. I mean, that's the thing. Like when with COVID, there's one brewery, and sadly, it was like the one brewery that was like women owned in the state, and it was the brewery of the Holy Goats or something, and
That's
it
good.
shut down. And there's so many places, and it's just like it's amazing that with everything that's happened, people will bottle alcohol because all the breweries, as far as I know, exist. And like you joke, every empty space in Nashville is either like a condo complex or another brewery, right?
Now there's microbreweries.
Or there's like 5,000 different hot chicken restaurants.
No,
We
well,
need to find some other like Nashville. Like one of the places my parents they went to the last Titans game and they went to Slim and Huskies, which is like a local
the
pizza
pizza
joint that's
joint.
apparently good. That might be
Yes,
something to check out.
that's local. Yeah, I had that when
But
I
I don't know, going
was.
to that brew house place on Sunday with half price, although I'll be at the Titans game sadly, so probably not.
It's Saturday and Sunday. It's the
I remember we
weekend.
went there and they had the black. Like we should have like the honorable mention, like Black Bell. That's out
Ha
of
ha!
which one is that in Nashville? What's the brewery?
Blackstone. Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember going there and getting it, and it was so limited, and now it's another one that's like sitting on shelves, right?
That's a whale. That motherfucker's been sitting up here at my local liquor store. I don't know
A
how
former
long.
whale.
It's still $8 for a 12
Yeah.
ounce. I'm like, man, you need a supply and
Well, they
demand,
were
man. You don't need a.
selling, what did they have? Different versions. They had like a
There were different
coconut, and
versions.
I can't remember. There was another one.
I got
I just
you.
had a friend who's a Nashville guy who's a real big bourbon dude, and he liked like the Oak Spire, which came out of
Ugh, I
it's
hated
basically
this.
like fat tire with bourbon, and it's actually not bad. I mean,
I
for
hate
me,
it. I
it's
can't
cheap. It's
stand
like $12 for a 6 pack. God, that's like
it. It is pretty good, actually.
it's funny with the cost of when I was what in my 20s, like get a
Oh,
6 pack
yeah.
of beer for like $4, and
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
thought you were man, it's expensive, and now it's like
Dude,
Dragon's Milk is like 14, 15 for a 4 pack. I'm like,
uh,
that's
I
pretty
still
reasonable.
wince. I still wince when I get if I get KBS, which is another honorable mention, actually.
Yeah, that was
That
one of the
shit's
beers
expensive.
I brought to the last ReasonCon. Rest in peace. I used to mention every episode, so you have to like take a drink. But yeah, I remember going to the place, the same place I went to yesterday, and they had one bottle, and I bought it, and I brought it because it was so limited, and that was probably the eighth or ninth beer tried that night, so I probably didn't even taste it. But
I went to a
it used
release
to
party.
be only part of the year, and then now it's year round. Like I put the because now they do, of course, they have to variants, and they did last year the maple Mackinac fudge, which was pretty good. I remember I got a 4 pack, and that was like $20 or something, or even more. And it's still pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. The espresso is about 25, so it's probably about
Yeah, now they
25.
have that cinnamon vanilla that you tried. As soon
No,
as I saw that,
no.
as soon as I saw the flavor, I'm like, yeah, it's probably not good.
God damn it! But I was like, I was hoping. I was like, KBS has not failed me. Failed me before, man. But they failed me this time.
I
What
mean,
the hell kind of flavor
there's like
combination is that?
there's a Total Wine in Atlanta, and if you go there, it's like a throwback because they have bombers of Canadian breakfast stout, and Mexican cake next to each other, and they're both like from 3 years ago because Canadian Breakfast Stout used to come in bombers, and then they had 1 year they came in 4 packs, and they said we're not making this anymore.
They still
You
have it
still can
at
find it because
craft brews sometimes.
it's kind of expensive. I mean, it's like 20, 25 for a 4 pack,
It's good though.
and the bomber was like 20, and that was so it was like barrel aged, but it also had maple, so it was a little bit sweet, but it wasn't too sweet.
Brewhouse also has Canadian breakfast stout. Last time I looked, I'm telling you, man, Saturday.
Well, I mean,
Saturday.
I have the good fortune of working for a company that does bank holidays. So Thursday is Veterans Day. I have Thursday off.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to work for my parents on Friday because I took all my vacation on that trip I took recently.
Saturday.
And then I'm going to be in Atlanta or in Nashville for the game on Sunday. And then I'm like, well, I might come home after. And it's like, yeah, I might come home Monday morning. So we'll see. It's really tough to go home straight from, especially with the time change.
Oh yeah, that's
Like, because the sun sets like right, because Nashville, it's weird. Nashville's like on the border of Central and Eastern, but sunset in Nashville after like the time change is like 4:30. So
that's
if
not
you
that bad.
if you drive home from a Titans game after the time change, the sun sets before you get to Chattanooga, and driving in the dark just sucks. The older you
Fuck
get, you're
off.
like,
I've
you
had
know
to
what?
do that numerous times, sir, and I can't even see.
So, but it's easier to just go on Monday.
Well, I'm
It's
thinking
nice to be a full-time employee because you can kind of make that work. This beer, Stranger Danger, I'm telling you. So you could have Stranger Danger. You could have the Tie-X on. What else do they have over there at Monday
see. I
Night you
don't.
like?
I could trip and kill myself too, so I don't know. I don't know. Let's.
Like they have all those. Yeah, what is it called? The one that has the apple brandy version. The
Tears of my enemies.
Tears of My Enemies. I remember getting that because it had won like the gold medal, and it came out the next year, and it sold out pretty quickly. And the years they've made it since, it stays in stores. Like
It's
all the Tears of My Enemies you can find, and it's just like this. It's a 500 milliliter bottle, and it's like the Tears of My Enemies like 15, $16. So you really gotta,
well, the tiger that killed my father
want
is
it.
better.
Doesn't it have a hazelnut in it though?
No, there's like 3 different versions.
I know.
don't think they all
There's not just one version of anything anymore. It's just great, but it's kind
I
of
think there's one you
scary.
could drink. I think if I can drink coconut, I
Yeah.
think you could drink hazelnut, sir.
So let's say you can't pick porter because I feel porter is just a poor man's stout.
I
What's
don't know.
another style of beer that you like besides?
I do like imperial porters, and I've had some of their. Victory at Sea was one that I can't find anymore. From Ballast Point, that was good.
There's a local brewery that does. They have an imperial porter. It's like 8%. I'm like, okay, I can work with that. But they sell crowlers, and it's like 32 ounces for like $13, and I'm like, that's like 3 beers.
I got one just for Black is Beautiful when I was on that little kick.
I guess they quit doing Black is Beautiful.
Yeah.
It sounds like that was a one-off.
Yeah, that was a one-off.
There was a lot of offs because every brewery did one, which was nice.
Well, they got I think here it went to Gideon's army, but of course now they're evil black people. I guess they're terrorists. Anyway, whatever. Don't get me started on that. Doppelbox. If we're gonna go with the second,
It's good.
no. Let me no Belgian strong ales. I'll go with Belgian strong ales. Doppelbox are kind of sweet, or a little too much sometimes.
There's that Adrian's. I can't remember the name of it. They sell them at the place near me, and it's like the 500 milliliter bottles, like $4, and they have a Mars in there too, which is pretty good. I mean, that's the thing. Like most of the Marzens I had tasted kind of watered down. Like I got a 12-pack of Oktoberfest that's just like,
Yeah, I had that.
Sam Adams, which is just like, yeah,
It's
I'll
okay.
drink
I
it.
mean,
Every
I'm
beer we
hard.
drink can't be 10%, right? Maybe.
Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right around the
I mean,
corner.
I've always been a fan of the Scottish ale. I feel like I need to try more. Um, the base beer of the Backwoods Bastard is Dirty Bastard, and that's a little bitter. Like I got a 6-pack, and I was comparing that to the Drafty Kilt, which is the Monday night version. The Monday night version is like $9 a 6-pack, and the Dirty Bastard is like 11. I'm like, no, it's not better. So the Bourbon Barrel Drafty Kilt is one of my favorites, but sadly, I think that's out
The
everywhere.
tiramisu one.
Oh yeah, of course.
That
But
is
yeah,
good.
Scottish ales. I mean, I even saw there was that barrel aged Doppelbock I had a couple weeks ago.
Not
That was
bad.
pretty good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think old ale. I mean,
What the
what was
hell
that?
is old ale?
Better half from Founders. That is strong, but it tastes like just boozy toffee, basically.
Well, that's what Monday Night has one. What the hell's the name of it?
Wait, I have the bottle right here.
Oh yeah, how fortunate.
I think.
Last Will and Testament. Yeah, that's it. Asshole. Just having beer sitting
Exactly.
there.
What?
Just having beer sit. I don't know how you can do it.
Well, I had those. Those are some of the Hall of Fame bottles. Like that's empty actually. That was one of those ones they had at. I don't know. I should probably toss them because there's no use. Just some of those Orpheus bottles that look cool. Like I think the last Will and Testament, it was on sale. That was when I went to that Total Wine and they had it. It wasn't like it was like $11 or something, so it was pretty good, but it wasn't amazing. Exactly. So yeah, all the beers in the world.
Tasty.
I'm gonna start looking at that brew house.
Yeah, they keep that shit updated on Untappd, so go check it out. Tell me what you think.
Because that was that time I got like.
Oh, that was NanaCon. You were there for NanaCon. I remember now. You were there for NanaCon.
They had the what was that one from the Nashville one? Crap, the Bourbon Barrel that we talked about earlier.
Which one?
And it was like $15 for a bottle, but then it was like half price. I'm like $7.50, great, I'll buy that.
Navel
the Blackstone one, whatever it was.
Black Bell. They have another one.
And the weird thing, like I drank that and I really liked it, and then I came up to Nashville and I like stocked up and I took it home. It had like a bit of an aftertaste, and I was like, so I didn't like it as much.
It's
apparently Don sent me freaking text telling me that some dude scored a touchdown in the football game tonight, which I had on my bench, I think. So yay!
Oh, you do fantasy football?
Okay. Oh my gosh!
Do I?
Well, I should tell. So I mean, I've always wanted to do like a combination of the whole like sports and skepticism, and how like sports has this weird Christian thing to it. But so what happened this week is one of the best known players in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers, it turned out he lied about being vaccinated.
Son of a bitch.
Like they asked him during the preseason, "Are you vaccinated?" He said, "I am immunized." And it turned out he was getting a homeopathic treatment, which I don't even know what that is, because homeopathy is just, it's basically homeopathy is 0.00001% beer, but I don't know what percent of what was he given, because there's no they're not giving him 0.0000001% of a vaccine. Like, what are they giving him? 0.00001% of ivermectin? I mean,
yeah,
I'm wondering what he got and what he thought he was getting. And it was just funny that this guy who makes 35, 40 million a year and does all these commercials, like literally lied about his vaccination status and put players on his team at risk. And now you're starting to wonder how many other guys in the NFL lied about their vaccination status. It's not good.
Well, you could say that about probably anything, really.
I mean, I think they busted somebody for the fake cards, the vaccine. I think it may have been someone in another sport. But I did remember seeing, because you're in Nashville, like at the Bridgestone Arena, they were like, you have to have a vaccine. And then they were like, nah, let's change that.
No Preds games, it seems. I'm not going any.
Because as has been well attested to in Republican conservative sides, it was like, in the past week, the positive in the South has been really low. I'm like, compared to what, the last 3 months? Is everybody dead? So now everybody's fine?
Yes. The bar is pretty, low.
It's very selective. It's weird how that happens.
Yeah. They only like the shit that makes them look better, usually.
But speaking of, we've talked so much about your Dune obsession. So we've been watching Midnight Mass on Netflix.
Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah.
And it's actually, apparently the writer-director guy is atheist. So it has the whole atheist, like Christian, like showdown. And it is we're actually on our way to the finale tonight. And it's like, this show is like 7 episodes and it really could have been about maybe just a movie length, because they just did really got dragged out.
Okay.
But it's basically like the main dude priest is just like a vampire in the end. So,
spoiler.
But the blood. I mean, the whole Catholic Church drinking the blood thing, they just make it literal. So that's something.
So I mean, I don't see why they get all bent in the shape about it.
Exactly. I don't know.
I'm not gonna be watching that. I don't think. Doesn't sound like something I need to invest my time in.
I mean, it's just every episode. Usually, stuff on like streaming is normal TV, like 45 minutes, but these episodes are like an hour plus. And what they do is they get these mostly really well-known actors in, and they get to do, everybody gets like instead of doing character development over time, they just have, okay, now you're going to do your 10-minute like soliloquy in episode 6. You're just going to talk uninterrupted for 10 minutes, and that's going to be your character background. It's just, it's like, okay, I get you, but
that's more like a play than a movie, really.
Yeah, it was. I guess the guy wrote the house on, what was the house something on something hill?
Yeah, I remember.
I came out. We watched it, and then like each episode was from a different character's point of view, and it was good, but it was really dragged out. It's funny that we used to watch, like, we were really big Buffy the Vampire Slayer like fans, and it's like 22 episode shows. They just don't do them. It's just, you have to have a lot of filler to get through that. It's tough.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm watching. That's just the way TV is. They have
I made it through maybe 1.5 seasons of that, but they did like 7 seasons. It was a lot.
I don't know if I can get through that much. I'm just trying to find something to watch, and
because that was like the first. They were doing that, and then they were doing like the Marvel stuff that was on Netflix that didn't do very well. But then the stuff on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. crossed over with
that's
like
bullshit.
The movies finally,
because fucking Luke Cage, fucking Daredevil were one of the two
Luke
best
Cage
series.
Was so weird because all of those TV shows are filmed in Atlanta, of course. So they did the exterior. We're in New York City, and then they're in the interior. I'm like, that's the Fox Theater in Atlanta. Cool, It's like,
yeah.
It's funny that now that's
The Punisher was a good show.
The first season of what was the name of the woman that led
Jones?
That show with David Tennant? That was good.
So they have good shows. They just cancel them because they're trying to get them on their own.
Yeah, they don't want them on Disney. That's the thing. Like, so at the moment, we have Netflix and we have like Amazon Prime, and I got Sling just for like NFL. Like we don't watch anything on demand because they have those long commercials and they just drive us insane. Like we can't do it. So we're like, at some point we have to get HBO because we like Succession. We want to see the next season of that. There's like Hulu because the next season of The Great is out. That's a good show.
I might have some.
And then I want to see Disney, but I don't know if in a month I could watch everything because when it was like with our phones, we got Disney for like 2 weeks. And I watched like 2/3 of the first season of The Mandalorian. That was all they had other than like old movies. And now there's like a new season of something coming out like every week on Disney. They're really blowing it out.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's not the same until they have the original version of like Song of the South or something. Yeah.
Wow.
How racist were we?
Let me
Can't
tell
teach
ya.
that in school anymore.
Jesus God.
Fun
How about
times.
Dumbo? The crows were super black. You know, that was fun. That was good stuff. Blackface.
I think James Lindsay had something to say about that, and he said,
Oh God, just James.
it's funny when you like cut off. Like I stopped following him, but there's some people on my because I have the Twitter for this. The Zachrilege is mostly atheist stuff, and then there's the one that's mostly fantasy football. And every once in a while, somebody like retweets James Lindsay or like Bill Maher. I'm like, you need some help, dude. Because Bill Maher, because there was that thing. What was it? The Some More News about like who's a conservative comedian anymore, and he's like, Bill Maher is a conservative comedian because
pretty much. I mean,
that's what he is now.
The Overton window has moved so far.
It used to be, people would look forward to seeing him every week.
Oh, I love that show. I'm gonna not even lie, man. I look forward to that every week.
He talks to people on the other side. Oh wait, he agrees with them a lot.
But he didn't back then. At least it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Or at least he made it look like. Plus, he was an atheist. It was angry atheist phase, So it was edgy.
Now he's angry rich.
Now he's just angry. Now he's just a whiny old.
I mean, that was the thing people were saying about the Dave Chappelle and like Bill Maher. It's like you have to like try to offend people, and if you don't, you're irrelevant now. So
that's what it boils down.
It's like, do you actually believe the stuff, or are you just saying it to, the old to piss liberals off thing?
Oh, the libtards, whatever stupid shit.
Congrats, you've owned us, and now we're all gonna die.
That's right. We're gonna cry on our beer. Triggered. That's what they love. They love that shit. They only care if it's funny. That's as long as we get pissed off. That's all that matters. I'm a leftist though, not a liberal. So
there isn't really a punchline anymore. I think that was the thing.
Yeah, that was what he was talking about.
There was one joke, and it wasn't funny, and then the whole comedy wasn't. Yeah, it was just being mean and punching down, but saying you're not, even though you are. Like. Dave Chappelle says he wasn't punching down on trans people because somehow there's this strong trans that's like above him, and then like that's not a thing.
He doesn't. I don't think he understands, or he doesn't really want to. That's what it was. He just doesn't care.
He just had a contract with Netflix and he had to do one more thing, and he did it, and hopefully he'll be done.
Oh no,
like,
sir!
Didn't you have enough money when your show that you decided to quit your show instead of making a lot of money because it would have made you insane? Then it's like someone else eventually offered you money, and you're like, oh crap!
No,
I have to come up with content.
He'll be doing the Louis C.K. tour, I'm sure.
Ooh,
where he does underground, like smaller clubs and like all those goddamn trans people, just so sensitive. Those SJWs.
All those rich comedians, so sensitive. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So here I am in a room with 3 versions of Dragon's Milk.
Asshole. Which you're going to bring at least one of those.
Apparently. Do you even like the regular Dragon's Milk, or are you more of the...
No, actually, I looked, and that's like one of the top ones. like within the
Hmm.
top 10. So I never said I
But
didn't
do you
like
need
it.
to rate a beer every year or two because your tastes might change? And
I don't know. I just have to, I'm weird. I'm very OCD on some things. I have I have to check in. I don't know why. It's weird.
I don't, unless I haven't had a beer in like 5 years. I'm not. Yeah, I don't check in. Well, I barely check in on it, untapped as it is.
You don't
I just
even do
forget
it
it
now, man.
exists
You fucking
because I
loser.
don't check it. Like when I go to the liquor store, I'm like, have I had this before? I'm like, is it in here? No, it's not. No, it's
I do
definitely not.
all the time.
Well, good for you. Good for you and your birthday cake stout, which I'm going to make you drink in front of me before you can have any other beers when I come to Nashville. You, because you bought the one and I drank it, and I was like, let me try it. Oh, God.
It wasn't that bad. Calm down. It wasn't Coors or
The beer
anything.
that tasted like an artificial version of frosting, and frosting itself is not great by itself. Yeah.
I've had a peanut butter one that tasted like the peanut butter, nasty peanut butter candies. You know what
Hmm.
I'm talking about? I
Well,
forgot
I mean,
which
the
one
last
it
time I
was.
went to Nashville, I got I think it was Tailgate, and it was the Imperial peanut butter stout, and
Yes.
it just hit you with so much booze that
It's, yeah, it's
you don't really enjoy it. Like,
peanut butter and
unfortunately,
jelly one is actually
I'm
a
like,
little better.
I think I've had, yeah, they had the barrel aged one of that. Interesting. Well, next time we'll see how it goes in Nashville. Well, thank you, Chris, for being on. Hope you had a good time.
As always, you're welcome.
Of course. All right. Well, say hi to your cats
Meow.
and call it a night.